crazy because you can get the revs up nicely. It's very happy up high. Not what I expected. Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today we're taking a look back at this 2017 Ford Focus RS with its 2.3 liter, 350 horsepower front-wheel drive biased all-wheel drive system. It's kind of a little rally car, and they've held their value really well. My goodness, does this thing look mean? The Ford Focus is already kind of like a clever little car, but just like in the old days where an E36 M3 looked like a normal, unsuspecting car, this still does that, right? It still looks like a Ford Focus, but there's just little hints of its muscularity, and of course, these great big Brembos up front. This one, being a 2017 model, does not have the limited slip differential up front, but let's take a quick look under the hood. Not much to see, and you can tell it's a bit of a workhorse, but we've got a pretty direct cold air intake for the vehicle, and it is a hoot to drive. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, the Honda Civic Type R really stole the glory from the Focus RS, and even though they can't be compared apples to apples, considering this is all-wheel drive and that's front-wheel drive only, this sort of fell behind. Are you noticing these gauges? They're wiggling around a little bit when I sat down. It's certainly a quirky car, but it drives really well. So let's start it up and see what it's got to offer. Don't mind the TPMS, we are on snow tires. They didn't put TPMS sensors on this set. But we've got the Recaro seats. They are quite snug. Now, I'm a small guy. I don't weigh very much. I'm not gonna tell you how much I weigh, but I'm only 5'9". I'm a skinny dude, so these seats work okay for me. However, I have spent an inordinate amount of time, ooh, I love a handbrake, in the Focus ST when I drove one from Tampa, Florida to Boston. And I'll tell you, those seats, these seats, they're not great for long, long drives. Nice dude. Right off the bat, the car is a screamer. It's 3,400 pounds. You can hear the little pops and bangs coming out of that exhaust while we're in sport mode. Suspension is so rigid and stiff. It does no work hiding the fact that it's a turbo engine. It's absolutely embracing this. It doesn't do any, acrobatics to try to say, hey, I'm hiding the turbo lag. No, it wants you to feel this way. It wants you to have to work for it a little bit. It wants you to keep the revs up and give you an old school turbo experience. Let's take it on some back roads. Toss her into sport mode. Not a whole lot of torque steer or anything like that. There's very little drama on throttle with this car, other than the fact that it's tactile and it gives me lots of feedback. The steering wheel is nice and thin. Ford actually put the proper steering wheel on this car. I'm not a big fan of the big, chunky, sporty steering wheels, or quote-unquote sporty. I don't really consider those sporty, that they put on like M cars and stuff. I think they're getting a little ridiculous, but this is the right size steering wheel. And then, of course, this clutch, ultra tactile. Always respect our cyclist friends out here. We're just sharing the road. It's a nice Sunday. The shifts can't be rushed too fast, but, ooh, feel it mid-corner. Nice weight on that shifter. Although the engagement is a little, I don't want to say sloppy, it's just not connected. It's not a crisp engagement, but the journey to the engagement is really nice with the weighted shifter. It's crazy because you can get the revs up nicely. It's very happy up high. Not what I expected. I was expecting this to have a heavy flywheel, rev hang, just the typical sloppy modern manual where, we all yell save the manuals, and then when we do, they don't give us a good one. This is quite not that. Do you see that? Can you just not stall this car? I should have just stalled that. That was a sloppy release on my part. I'm actually impressed. This is the perfect car to learn on, to be honest. If you are learning how to drive a manual car and you can get a hold of a Focus RS, This is the sauce. This is nice. The ride quality is sporty. That's not a compliment. It's very stiff. This is a very stiff car, and you can tell it's got that Nürburgring, I'm here to set a time and that's about it vibe to it. So what's nice though is even though it does have these adaptive dampers, you can put it in sport mode, and then with this button here on the blinker stock, you can, do you guys call it a blinker? I call it a blinker. I'm from Massachusetts. You can hold this button here and set it back to comfort mode, which, by the way, absolutely not comfortable, but it's less teeth chattering than the alternative. Not a huge fan of pops, but it's not gratuitous. I mean, geez, the cars that we have out today now, they'll pop the whole way down the overrun. This isn't doing that. It gives us just a little knock who's there popcorn deal. That's kind of fun. At least it's entertaining, and it's reminiscent of like an RS200, which you would have seen in, was that Group B? Yeah, it's probably Group B. Auto start stop. My least favorite feature in a vehicle. What's incredible about this vehicle is that it has this level of grip. You can just plant it and it's gonna put the power down. That's kind of that charm of all-wheel drive. It's funny, I'd have to take a look at the gear ratios. I feel like I hit every rev match except for the 3-2. There must be a larger gap between second and third gear than all of the other gears. What is going on here? I genuinely love that it's not doing any kind of fancy auto rev matching for me. Oh, these brakes are wonderful. The snow tires may not have quite as much grip as we want. Got nice torque too, so we can actually leave it in third. Don't need to go way up in the rev range. Encourages you to behave a little poorly. Look at that turn in. A little bit of body roll. We've got the dampers in the softer mode. Floored. That is so much fun. These weren't without their faults though. Oh, you can just stay on throttle. How does this sort it out? It's kind of crazy. I remember the early ones, they had head gasket issues. I think they installed the wrong head gasket at the factory. And then they also have rear main seal issues, which this one actually experienced, but I don't smell any oil and I'm pretty sure they replaced it. But let's go enjoy this. Oh, love these brakes. Oh, I gotta drive this on sticky tires on a racetrack. This is amazing. I feel like there was a lot of hype around this car when it came out. You can get on throttle so early. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. Tire pressure monitor fault. I am unconcerned with that problem. On the highway, top gear in 6, 70 miles an hour, 2,700 RPM. It's a loud cabin. There's a lot of cabin noise. Let's get over to the right. We're not passing anybody. Why would we be in any other lane than the right? Although he does have these roof racks on here because the owner, he's very active. He puts like kayaks and his surfboard and all kinds of stuff on this car. So, you know, we do have additional road noise on here just because. But I can tell there's a lot of noise coming through the cabin because it's just not a luxury vehicle. It's not designed to insulate you from the world. I mean, it's the kind of car that makes me want to accelerate off the highway just to feel these brakes, just to enjoy that one more time. I have a feeling I would get myself not into trouble with it handling wise, but it encourages me to use its potential. It encourages me to drive a little faster than maybe I normally would. But isn't that the mark of a great little sporty hot hatch? A Mark 1 GTI is such a great experience because it eggs you on. You want to hear it. You want to rev it out. I just don't get that with a lot of other hot hatches. Even the Civic Type R, it's very stiff, it's rigid. It feels like it belongs on a track, which is great. But I don't know that I'm always trying to hit that next on-ramp as hard as I can. I'm certain that there are folks who have been scared away from this car or just turned off by its Interior presence compared to its competition, just because it is fairly ordinary to look at this dashboard. It is fairly old. Haha, sweet Evo. But just like the Evo was a very cheap interior of a car, its charm came from its driving dynamics, and people really love that. And I think the same thing of this. This feels like a little race car. It feels like a little rally car. And while, yeah, you know, it's a little heavier than the Civic by about 300 pounds, it's not going to perform as well. This genuinely feels less insulated from the world as far as the driving experience. I feel more connected to the road in this than I expected to be, and that is what I like in a car. So thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive. Go drive a Focus RS. Don't sleep on this car. This might just be the little hooligan hatchback you've been looking for. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and here's a little hack for you. If you're sitting in traffic and you just want to see that rear camera, just do that. You don't have to put it in reverse, just over. There you go. Let's see what this turning radius is. I seem to remember that being not very impressive in these cars. Yikes! A four-wheel steering Taycan it is not.